Institute of Quarrying Australia training on the Code of Conduct and Competition and Consumer Compliance Protocol. This module contains important information for all Institute members, staff, contractors, volunteers, visitors and others who interact with, or provide services on behalf of, the Institute. The IQA has a long and proud history of connecting the extractive industry, supporting networking and the professional development and careers of those in the extractive industry. The Institute's vision of educating and connecting the extractive and associated industries is embodied in our values: a safe and sustainable environment, diversity and inclusion, working development skills, careers and lifelong learning, networking, connection, trust and communication.
In support of its objectives, the Institute holds meetings, conferences, training seminars and other events, which are attended by members and other guests. These meetings and events must comply with the Competition and Consumer Compliance Protocol, which prohibits anti-competitive conduct as outlined in the Competition and Consumer Act 2010. The Institute expects all employees, contractors, members and non-members, to comply strictly with the letter and spirit of the Competition and Consumer Act 2010, in all their dealings with or on behalf of the Institute. All board, branch, sub-branch, committees, members and non-members, and all employees, contractors, sponsors, training providers and volunteers must be aware of the terms of the Competition and Consumer Compliance Protocol. The protocol must be referenced at the start of all meetings and events. All incidents, or suspected incidents, involving contravention of the Competition and Consumer Act should be reported immediately to the company secretary. Further expectations for actions to be taken are outlined in the protocol.
In line with its vision and values, the Institute is committed to facilitating the participation of its members and others in a safe and healthy environment, free from discrimination, harassment and bullying. All members are required to comply with the Member Code of Conduct and Ethics Policy, which includes acting honestly and in good faith at all times, carrying out their duties in a lawful manner and recognizing both the legal and moral duties of their role, ensuring that all activities are undertaken with the interests of all involved to allow compliance with the requirements of the Sex Discrimination and Fair Work Amendment Act 2021, including the positive duty of the Institute to prevent work health and safety risks, including the risk of sexual harassment.
The Institute promotes diversity and inclusion in all its activities. This includes demonstrating respect for differences in age, gender, ethnicity, culture, language, education, ability, sexual orientation, family status, and religion, and valuing the contribution these differences can make. Discrimination occurs when someone is treated differently because of these characteristics.
Bullying is the repeated unreasonable behavior of individuals or groups towards other individuals or groups, which creates a risk to health and safety. Examples of bullying include aggressive behavior, unreasonable work demands, teasing or practical jokes, pressuring others to behave inappropriately, and exclusion from work-related events.
Research by the Australian Human Rights Commission finds that 71% of Australians have experienced sexual harassment at some point in their lives. 1/3 of Australians have reported experiencing sexual harassment in the workplace. Sexual harassment includes an unwelcome sexual advance, unwelcome request for sexual favors and other unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature which it is reasonable to expect may offend, humiliate or intimidate another person. Examples of sexual harassment include inappropriate physical contact, staring or leering, sexually suggestive comments and jokes, sexually explicit images or pictures, emails or messages.
Under the Member Code of Conduct, discrimination is viewed in the eyes of the offended, not the person who offends, and therefore, any activity that may potentially offend any attendee, fellow committee member or branch member should not be permitted. Stop and think. If you wouldn't be involved in this behavior for your employer, then you can't be involved in it with the Institute. If your employer allows poor or inappropriate conduct that could potentially be discriminatory, the Institute will not. and the Code of Conduct will take precedence with all actions performed for, or on behalf of, the Institute.
If we all play our part, we can all contribute to creating an environment that is safe, fair and welcoming for everyone.